So for this week, what we're going to be learning is Adobe Illustrator. Now, understand might be your first time playing around with the Illustrator, so I'm trying to go a little bit slower. I'm going to show you everything that you going to need to create a simple artwork like this. And for this artwork, we're simply just practicing with one tool, which is called Pen Tool. Now, Pen Tool is a very powerful tool, which is you can create any shape or logo design, and you'll be using with designing t-shirts and maybe even typeface or a lot of different stuff you're going to use with Pen Tool. And also Pen Tool will use the same way as in Photoshop. So Pen Tool is a very useful tool that I feel like I'll really want to cover it up in this digital illustration class. And so this is basically we're gonna be doing is most of the shape and the line and the path, everything in this, even the background, the patterns, and everything we're gonna try to use as much as we can to use Pen Tool to create all the artwork in there. All right, now without further ado, let me show you guys real quick about how do you use pen tools and everything. Now, since this is Illustrator, so Illustrator is a little bit different than Adobe Photoshop. So Illustrator is basically we're creating all the vector file. So what is vector file? So vector file is basically a shape. Let's see, give you guys an example. So a shape that you can increase this as much as you want, but the edge of it is still really clean, really nice. And especially when you design a t-shirt and you want to send out your t-shirt design to a print shop, and the design part of it, they're going to ask you to provide them a vector file. And this is what you will be doing in Adobe Illustrator, which is where creating all the vector file. Or in here is we're more like creating more like vector shapes around it. So vector shape, basically what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna give multiple anchor points, and as you see, this is going to be a path, and right here is going to be an anchor point, and here's gonna be another anchor point, and here's gonna be another anchor point. Now, Pen Tool work just like that. Well, you will give your first anchor point, and then while you're moving along, and you're creating a path, and then you're gonna you're gonna be creating another anchor point and another anchor point, depending on what kind of shape that you're looking for in order to create different shape. And we're talking about different looking shape, you'll have different amount of anchor point. Now for here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to just use our Pen Tool to create the outline of the trailer first, and then we're going to be creating our car outline after the trailer, because the trailer is a very simple, very easy. Alright, now without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So first thing you want to do is you want to go to Window, and you want to go to Workspace, and you want to make sure you are on Essentials Classic. Alright, you want to make sure you're on Essential Classic. If you are on Essential Classic already, what you will need to do is you want to reset your Essential Classic. Simply just click on that, since I should just reset it, so I'm just going to use it as it is. And then the next thing what you want to do is you want to locate on your property panel here, and what you're going to be having is an icon called layers. So once you click on it, and you can see your multiple layers, and this is just the references layer, so we're definitely going to lock it out. We're not gonna, so to lock it is, you see there's an eye icon here, so you'll simply just click on here to lock it. So we're not gonna accidentally select on anything in there. to move it around instead of, we're gonna be creating our artwork on the next layer. So you'll double click on this and we're gonna call it artwork layer. So everything is gonna be creating, all of our artwork is gonna be creating on the layer on top of it. And if you don't like your layer color to be red, you can double click on this. You can change your color to whatever the color that you like to do. For me, I really like red, and so I'll leave it alone. Alright, now next thing we want to do is, as you see right here, we're basically going to just creating points and to recreate the shape of the trailer. So it's a very simple, very easy. Alright, now one thing I want to bring up attention to you guys is right here. So this is what we call the color box and how you change your colors and everything. If you click on this, this is just a drop down menu here. So what we're going to be doing in order to recreate that trailer is I'm going to show you guys a little bit trick in order to create the outline first, and then we're going to give a fill color. So that way it's going to be a lot easier. So the first color box here is called fill color. So we want to click on this. We want to select on none. The very first one is called none. So we're not going to give any fill color first. And later on, once we create our outline, and then we're going to add the fill color to it. All right, now select on this. This is the stroke color. Now the stroke color we're looking at is the darker blue. It should be the third on your color palette. So select on that. And as you see, it's gonna give you more options of how do you want your stroke once you have a stroke selected. All right, now we're gonna select on this. We're gonna give 2-point stroke all the way around. And once you've done, hit return. Let me zoom out so we can see it better. Now, first thing we want to do, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So in Illustrator, if you want to zoom in, there's a multiple way to zoom in. So on your keyboard, you can hold your Command and plus and Command and minus to zoom out. Or if you want to do is there's a tool called Zoom Tool. The keyboard shortcut of this Zoom tool is Z. So you click on this, and if you click and drag on right to the right, it's going to zoom in. You click and drag, you hold your Option key, click and drag, it's going to zoom out. Now there's another way to zoom in and zoom out is whatever tool that you're selected. Let's say we're selecting our pen tool, and if you want to zoom in, is if you want to change your view on your artboard, you'll click on your press down and hold your space bar, and you can click and move it around like this. Or if you want to zoom in, is you click press down your space bar, and then while you're holding your space bar, press down and hold your Command key. So you have zoom in, and you go to the right to zoom in, you go to the left to zoom out. All right, I want you guys to play around with it to get a better, feeling, a better handling with this, and otherwise it's gonna help you to get through the project a lot quicker if you are familiar with it. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the trailer. Now, in order to create the trailer, first thing I want you guys to turn it on is go to View, and there's a function or a feature called Smart Guides. So I want you to turn it on. Make sure that your Smart Guide is turned on. So that way you know your line is straight, and as you see here, you'll definitely know your line is going to be straight, and otherwise you're not going to create like a cricket lines or something like that. All right, first thing you want to do is I like to start with here. So give your first anchor point here, and basically what I did is just give a single click. And the next thing we want to do is you want to go straight down and make sure, like I said, the Smart Guide is going to tell you, hey, your line is straight. Or if you want to make sure your lines are straight, you can hold your Shift key in order to, doesn't matter where you move, your line's always going to be straight. All right, give the second anchor point. And once you've done, go all the way to the end here and make sure you're holding down your shift before you give the anchor point. Otherwise, it might be going to be crooked like this. You don't want this. You want it to be super straight. So this is exactly what you're looking for. Give a click. And same thing here. I'm holding down my shift key, so I know I have perfect line here. All right, oops, here it's blocking my way a little bit here, and then like I said, very easy, very simple. Here now you see the smart guide is telling us we're on the same level, so this is exactly what we're looking for. All right, now there you go. Once you've done, and you can select back to your selection tool. Keyboard shortcut is V. So once you reselect on it, and you can give a color light blue as a fill color. Let's see what's wrong with this. All right, now I guess we'll click on here. We'll give a color. And then here we want to give a light blue color. We've done the trailer. Here's we're gonna be working on creating the outline of the car. Now before we get started, we want to make sure we have our correct fill color and a stroke color. As we talked about it, first thing I want to do is I want to turn it off the fill color, and we want to select on the stroke color, which is the second one, or the one on the right. And we want the darker orange-ish color. So select on that. And make sure your stroke is 2 points. Otherwise, the stroke is going to be thin, so you're not really going to see the stroke. All right, the tool we're going to use obviously is a pen tool. So we're going to be coming up here, and this is where I want my first anchor point to create. So we're going to select on this. And then first thing I want to do is I want to locate to our next anchor point. So click on this. And as you see, this is going to be a straight line, right? And we don't want straight lines. So how are we going to fix this? There's a multiple way you can draw, like, you can make your path curved and to follow along with the curve that we're supposed to do. Now, option one is you will locate your second anchor point and you will click and drag. I know it's not going to be perfect because we don't have our Bezier handle on our first point, but don't worry about that. We're going to fix it. So I'm going to leave it like that. And as you see, the curve on upper here area here, it doesn't fit perfectly. Don't worry, we're going to come back and we're going to fix it. And if you pay attention to here, and as you see, we have two different handles here. So these are called Bezier handle. So on this handle, it tells you what's your next path, where your next line is going to go, where it's basically giving you a direction where your line is going to be going. And for instance, in this point, if I keep drawing, it's going to continuing with our handle pointed out this way. We really don't want this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to readjust the handle. So if you hold down your option key, I'm going to bring it up to here. So that way it's going to follow along with our anchor point, right? So I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to show you how to fix this. Once you've done to here, and you can play around with the handle. To readjust your handle, what you're going to be doing is you're going to hold down your option key here, and we're going to go back and forth just to make sure the line is following along with it's supposed to follow along with it. All right. Now once you've done here, and as you see here, the next line is going to be straight, right? The next line is going to be going across it. So the easier way to fix this is you will go back to your anchor point, you will click on the anchor point so your line can be straight up. right? So we're gonna avoid the handle. So we're basically delete the handle here. So this way we can just give like a straight line just like this. So we're gonna get this next anchor point, which is gonna go on here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys another way to curve your line, and this is my personal favorite way to curve the path. All right. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just straighten up, give the next anchor point just like that, and then what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna hold down my option key, and as you see, while I'm holding down my option key, my cursor became like an angle mark here. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to move it on your path and you click and drag. You're going to curve it like that. And then the next thing you want to do is obviously just to readjust the handle to make it fit. And like I said, in this project, I want you guys to, give a little bit more time to, to play around with it, to really understand how pen tool actually works, because this is one of the most powerful tools in Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. So once you're actually master the tool, you can do a lot of things with it. All right, as you see, the next point is going to be straight. So I'm going to click on the anchor point to avoid the next handle, and then our next point can be just straighten up. And then here to curve this, like I said, you can click it and go back, hold down option and make a curve and make it fit here. And then here, the next point you want to do is we're just going to keep going. You can click on this anchor, go back, hold down option and make a curve. Now this one is easier. This one we can easily make it fit here. All right, now this one is going to be a little bit tricky, so we're going to close it like that, and then we're going to go back and use our option in the same way. Like I said, this is my personal favorite way to do, so this is what I love to use our pen tool. This is the perfect way. I believe it's the most easier way, at least for this particular project. All right, now once we're done, I'm gonna hold my command key, so it's automatically gonna jump to selection tool. I'm gonna select away. All right, now everything looks good, but remember, I want to come back and I want to fix this part right here. All right, now to fix this, the tool we're gonna use is called direct selection. Click on this tool, select on the path that we just created. As you see, you're actually going to see a lot of anchor points around it. You see this anchor point and you see all the anchor points that you created. Now, what we're going to be doing is you're going to select on this anchor point, and as you see here, you can actually give a handle here. And what we're going to do is we're going to give a handle, so we're going to click on this. So we have two handles here now. I know it messed up here, but no worry. What you can do is you will hold down your option and you will see a little plus sign underneath of your cursor, and then you will just readjust the back to here. And on here, since we have a handle here now, and now we can curve it better, so we can make sure it's actually doing its job and make sure it's perfectly fit with our the line that is supposed to fit. All right, awesome. I'm gonna call it done. I like it. And then the last step is you would use your selection tool, which is a keyboard shortcut is V. Select on the card outline, and now you can give a fill color. Now, since it's none, I'm gonna give a fill color here, and we're gonna go back into the box here, and we're gonna give the fill color to the orange. Now, that's exactly what we're looking for. And we're gonna keep going to the next one. All right, now for the next one, we're gonna do here is we're gonna be using our simple shape tool to create the wheels on the trailers. for the trailers and for the car. So 2 wheels, very easy to do, and we're gonna be using ellipse tool. So if you don't see your ellipse tool, it might be underneath of your rectangle tool. It might gonna look like this. And every single tool that has a little bit arrow arrow pointing down underneath of it, like this and like this, every single tool, if you click and hold them, you're gonna have more options. All right, now the tool we're gonna use ellipse tool to create some circles, because all those wheels are based on circles. Now I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. And as you see here, what I like to do is we want to create a wheel, right? Now, in order to create a wheel, now let's readjust the color, make sure the color is right. So we don't really need any stroke color. So we're gonna turn off the stroke color. We're gonna turn back on to the fill color. We're gonna change the fill color to black. Now, instead of click and drag to draw a circle, what we want to do is we want to hold down our Option key and our Shift key and then click and drag. So we'll have a perfectly circle dragging from inside to outside. And that's what Option keys will give you, is instead of from side to side, if you hold down your Option key, you're going to draw a circle from inside and out. That cool? And Shift key will just it's going to give you an option or ability to make sure to create the perfect shape. All right, once you've done, I should move up to forward a little bit to the front bumper a little bit. All right, once we've done, what you're going to do is you're going to use your selection tool, select on the circle, go on to edit, go on to copy, and then go on to edit again. We're gonna paste in front. All right, and then since we have 2 circles that are on top of each other, now that's very easy to do. What you're gonna be doing is you're gonna select on the fill color. Now this time we're gonna give a little bit of the whitish color, and then what you're gonna be doing is we're gonna hold down your Option key. So we're gonna resize it from outside to inside, and don't forget to hold on your Shift to make sure the circle is going to be perfectly deep proportion. All right, once you've done that looks good, and what you're going to be doing next is we're going to make another copy of it. To make a copy of it, we're going to use our selection tool, select both of the circle. So we're going to click and drag, draw a box, select on both of the circle. We're going to hold down our Option keys again. So Option keys, and you see your cursor became like a double arrow, and you'll click and drag. And I would like to hold down my Option key. That way it's going to give me like, straighten up, when I'm making copy of it. All right, I'm going to leave it there. That looks good. I'm gonna hold down my space bar, zoom out a little bit. Now that looks good. Now the next thing we want to do is the trailer wheels. Now I'm gonna zoom in here. Same way we're gonna use our ellipse tool. Like I said before, make sure your fill color is black. I'm gonna draw a circle right here. Looks good. We're gonna select on it, go edit, we're gonna go copy, and we're gonna go edit, we're gonna paste in front, and we're gonna change the color to the grayish, whitish color. And then we're gonna, remember, we're gonna hold on our Option key, and we're gonna desize it to there. All right, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit, select on both of the circle. So in here, you can draw a box to select both of the circle, or you can select the one and hold down your Shift key to select both of the circle. All right, once you're both of the circles selected, as you see right here, both of the circles selected. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna hold on our Option key and we're gonna bring it down to right around here. All cool? All right. Now to make it look like this, it's very easy. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna select both of the wheels. So select on the wheels first and hold down Shift, select on the front wheels so both of the wheels are selected. And we're gonna go next, we're gonna go to Object, Arrange, and we're gonna send it back. So once you send it back and you see it actually look like it's behind the trailer. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is we want to recreate the donut behind it. That's a very cute illustration. I love it. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is, since the donut is not a perfectly circle, so we're going to try to use our pen tool. We're going to challenge ourselves. We're going to make our donut by using our pen tool. Alright, now very easy, very simple. Zoom back in here. First point I want to give it just a 1 point, and I'm going to make it around it-ish, and I'm going to make it around it-ish here. Since it's gonna sitting in this in the trailer, so inside of the trailer we're gonna send it back, so it's not gonna be like you don't have to make it like perfect. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna close it out like that. And like I said, if you don't really like it, you can always go back to your direct selection, select on each of the anchor point, and make it like around-ish. Like that. And here we can select on the anchor point as well. We can relocate any of the anchor point that you want as well. And we're gonna readjust it and put it back here. Alright, now once I like it, alright, the next thing I want to do is we want to change the fill color to the donut-ish color. Now let's say this brownish color. Alright, cool. Once we have it here, and we're gonna create the inside circle of the donut. Now, same way, I'm gonna use my selection tool. I'm gonna select on the donut. I'm gonna go Object. I'm gonna go Edit. I'm gonna copy one, and we're gonna paste it in front, and we're gonna desize it to around like this size, and I'm gonna make it to white for now. Later on we're gonna cut it. Alright, now we're gonna select both of the circle. Now here is one of the best tool ever in Illustrator. It's called Shape Builder tool. The keyboard shortcut is Shift and M. So once you select on this tool, and make sure both of the object is selected, and as you see right here, we can recreate it a shape to whatever shape we want. Now in this case, what we want to do is we'll want to delete the inner circle of the donut. To do that, if you hold your Option key, you see there's a minus signs underneath of your cursor, so you just click on it, and now we actually delete the inner circle of the donuts already. Now use your selection tool, now deselect it away, and if you move around your donuts, you can actually see there's nothing in the middle of it. So this is, if we have a background color, the donut is going to be transparency. So that's exactly what we want. I think my donuts are maybe a little bit too big, so let's desize a little bit. So I want to resize it to what it's supposed to look like, maybe a little bit bigger. Now while you're resizing it, make sure you're holding down your Shift key to resize it. Alright, the same thing, I want to send it back, so we're going to go Object, we're going to go Arrange, we're going to send it back. So there you go, now your donut is sitting in the trailer. Alright, now we're going to make the strawberry flavor on top of your donuts. Now, to do that, we're gonna use our pen tool to recreate, the topping right there. All right, now to do that, we're gonna go back to our pen tool. We're gonna use this. So give a single point here. And what I like to do is I like to give a point here like that, and give an anchor point here. Maybe going inside a little bit here. And inside of the donuts here, we're gonna use our shape builder later on. So I'm gonna make lines here as well. Give a little curve and select on this. And the outer part, I'm just gonna make like a cover all the way around, because later on we're gonna use our shaper tool to cut the part that actually going above. You see this part right here? We're gonna use our shaper tool to cut them off. Now, once you've creating this already, let's change the color to the pinkish color, so you see where to cut and where not to cut, right? So use your selection tool, select on the topping, select on your donuts as well, and let's use our shape builder to get rid of this part, the outer part. Remember, holding down your option key, make sure it's a minus, so click away. Now that part is gone. Moving on to the inside part as well, click on it, so make sure that part is gone as well. All right. Now the next step we want to do is we want to make it a little bit smoother, right? So as you see right here, especially here, if you click on it, you will see a little dot, right? So you click on this anchor point, you see the little dot, and you can click and move, like drag it to right or drag it inward, and that way we can make our the corner of it, make it around it, so that way is more like the original piece. That's what we're going to be doing here. Same way, we're going to make it around it here. Cool. And here as well, going into the anchor point, click on the dots and drag it inward. And here as well. There we go. Cool. Now let me zoom into here. As you see here, you might go a little bit over on your donuts here. So let's create that little effect here as well. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to click on this anchor point, remember, and you just basically make it a little bit wider than your donut here. And you can use your handle to create a little direction here. If you want, you can make it a little bit larger as well. Use your handle to make it bigger, but not too big. And once your shape is a little bit sharper, create a little sharper area, and then the dots is started to appear, and that way you can actually click and drag it to smooth it out your line. You don't want it to be like too smoothed it out like that, but I think that looks pretty good. All right, now same thing here. I want them. There we go. All right, now that looks good. Now the next step we want to do is we want to have the little, I don't know what is that, like the sugar thing, the powder thing, or whatever. We're gonna make that on top of our donut here. All right, we're gonna zoom all the way in here. Gonna recreate a little bit, make it more roundish. There we go. All right. Now, here, we're going to go back to our pen tool. Now, to make that, what I like to do is I like to just make a little lines around it. All right, now let's make sure our fill color is turned off, since those are just line, and let's make a stroke color.